Hello everyone. Welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. Andy Cohen explained how the Real Housewives reacted to hearing a misconstrued headline listing his favorites. Bravo TV executive Andy Cohen clarified a statement he made about the Real Housewives that was misconstrued in the media, and he revisited his initial statement. Basically, Bruce interviewed me for a couple of weeks ago. He was asking about the Housewives. As it relates to soap opera stars, I look at a lot of the OGs and I look at how much their lives have changed or how identifiable they are with this brand of housewives, explained Andy. People like Kyle Richards, or Caroline Manzo, or this or that one. I said all these people, and they started showing clips for the record. Andy and AMEDEM, in addition to Kyle and Caroline. Andy named Luann Lesseps and Vicky Gunvalson in his list of identifiable housewives. Somehow, what I said got misconstrued into the headlines. Andy Cohen lists his favorite housewives. By the way, I heard from several housewives whom I didn't mention. I was like, okay, I was just flippantly talking about it. Then, I did mention a whole list. They only used a few in this thing. Andy Cohen has never been a stranger to controversy. As the architect and gatekeeper of Bravo's Real Housewives universe, he has weathered countless reunion couch meltdowns, Twitter feuds, and even champagne-throwing wars between cast members. But nothing could have prepared him for the fallout that erupted when a headline splashed across the internet claiming to reveal Andy Cohen's favorite housewives. The article in question, snappy, clickbaity, and according to Cohen, deeply misleading, allegedly listed a handful of housewives he valued above the rest. For fans, it was a juicy tidbit. For the housewives themselves, it was dynamite. The spark. It was one of those mornings where I woke up, grabbed my phone, and immediately regretted it, Andy explained during his Radio Andy segment on SiriusXM. The headline said something like, Andy Cohen finally reveals his favorite housewives. And I thought, oh, great, that's gonna be a fun day at the office. According to Andy, he never actually declared a ranking. Instead, he had been chatting casually about certain housewives who impressed him with their loyalty to the franchise and their ability to deliver iconic moments. Somehow, that nuance twisted into a supposed definitive list of favorites. Misconstrued is a polite word. Andy chuckled. It was completely taken out of context. But once it's out there, you can't unring that bell. Immediate reactions is expected. Bravo's most glamorous alumni did not stay quiet. Andy's phone lit up within hours. One housewife texted him a single dagger emoji. Another sent a screenshot of the headline followed by, "So I guess I never mattered?" A third, more dramatic message read, "Delete my number if I'm not on the list." It was like watching a Bravo reunion, except it was happening in my group chat, Andy revealed. And honestly, I knew I was in trouble when Ramona Singer called me 3 times back to back. You don't ignore a Ramona call. That's basically asking for chaos. A reunion-worthy blowback. The outrage wasn't limited to private texts. Several housewives began posting cryptic Instagram stories, filled with passive-aggressive shade. One posted a throwback picture of herself holding a diamond with the caption, "Still waiting for my recognition." Another tweeted, "Funny how the men who profit off our drama never truly respect us." It didn't take long for fans to start speculating about a full-on civil war brewing between the housewives and their Bravo boss. I had to do damage control immediately, and he admitted. It's like being a parent when your kids think you love one sibling more than the others. You say, "No, I love you all differently." But equally, that doesn't usually calm anyone down. By the way, clearing the air there, then let the storm fester. Andy decided to address the headline directly on Watch What Happens Live. Midway through the show, he leaned forward in his chair and gave the camera a pointed look. "Let me be clear," he told viewers. "I don't have favorites. Every housewife brings something unique to the table. If I had favorites, I would never survive a reunion. They'd eat me alive." The studio audience laughed. But housewives watching from their couches were not fully convinced. According to Andy, the calls didn't stop. "I got a voicemail from Teresa Giudice where she basically said, 'So you like Melissa better than me, huh?' And then she hung up before I could even respond," and he shared with a sigh. Meanwhile, Kyle Richards texted me, "If I'm not on your list, I'm quitting." And I had to remind her that I never made a list to begin with. Housewives themselves spilled tea behind the scenes. The reactions varied wildly. Some housewives laughed it off, calling it typical tabloid drama. Others treated it like a betrayal. Adriana De Mora from Miami allegedly quipped, "Honey, if you're not on Andy's favorite list, just leak your own. That's what I'd do." Tamara Judge from Orange County wasn't as amused. On her podcast, she teased, "I saw that headline, and I thought, really? After everything I've done? Andy better start sending gift baskets if he wants to get out of this one alive." Meanwhile, Lisa Rinna reportedly sent Andy a string of laughing emojis followed by, Thanks for the free press, classic Rina, Andy's perspective for Andy. The situation became a teachable moment. What I realized is that the housewives aren't just co-workers or talent, they're family. And with family, there's always a sensitivity to favoritism, he explained. When you've been on television for years, pouring out your personal life for millions of people, the last thing you want to feel is disposable. That headline hit a nerve because every housewife wants to know she mattered. He also admitted that certain cast members are naturally easier to work with than others. But that doesn't translate into favoritism. Some people are low maintenance, others are high drama. But you need both types. That's the recipe for Bravo magic. Fans stir the pot, of course. Fans had a field day. Reddit threads lit up with speculation about who Andy's real favorites might be. Twitter polls asked, who's the top housewife in Andy's eyes? Meme accounts spliced together clips of housewives yelling, who does Andy love more? In some ways, the fan frenzy only amplified the drama. Housewives began competing subtly for Andy's attention. Posting nostalgic clips of their most iconic Bravo moments, with captions like "Never forget who gave you this." It was hysterical, Andy admitted. Suddenly, housewives were campaigning like it was Bravo high school prom, and I was being forced to crown a queen, making pesto smooth things over. Andy took the bold step of hosting what he jokingly called a favorite free zone dinner. He invited a handful of housewives to his apartment for cocktails and pizza. The ground rules were simple: no asking about lists, no bringing up the headline, and absolutely no flipping tables. They still grilled me, of course, Andy laughed. But by the end of the night, we were all singing karaoke and taking selfies. I realized then that the headline had done one positive thing: it reminded everyone just how much they care about their place in Housewives history, the bigger picture now. Weeks after the headline drama, Andy has found a way to spin the chaos into something bigger. On a recent podcast, he teased a potential new special tentatively titled Bravo's Most Iconic Moments Chosen by the Fans. If there's going to be a list, I'd rather the fans make it, and he said, they're the real judges of this franchise. I'm just the guy handing out the wine at reunions. For Andy Cohen, the favorites headline was a headache, but also a reminder of the passion that fuels the Bravo-verse. At the end of the day, he mused, the housewives want love, respect, and acknowledgement. And let's face it, don't we all? And just like that, Andy turned a misconstrued headline into another classic Bravo storyline, dramatic, messy, and endlessly entertaining.